Okay, looks as though they're off and racing. A little bit slowly away with Sheng Feng Sword, but it trotted away nicely. Miss Aquaville got the best of the beginning, and Dakota Rebel also got away well. And Dakota Rebel heads them up as they get down towards the winning post for the first time. And it's out by 6 metres over Miss Aquaville, who will drop in behind for the trail. And at the tail of the field was the little trotter, Sheng Feng Sword, who trotted away well and is at the tail of the field. They're heading down to in between turns now. And Dakota Rebel, with that good beginning, leads the way from Miss Aquaville. And there's a margin of about 8 metres back to Sheng Feng Sword. They're going pretty slowly as they go down the back straight. They'll go through that lead time shortly. And they do so now in 36.9, which is pretty slow. And Dakota Rebel, at its own leisure, is out in front of Miss Aquaville. And Sheng Feng Sword is still at the tail. There won't be any change to the order for quite a while. And they go down the back straight now as they approach Neville Stud Corner for the first time. And Dakota Rebel doing it under its own steam out in front. Miss Aquaville is up on the bit racing second. And Sheng Feng Sword gets onto its coattail still at the tail. They again in between turns on the top side of the track, and they come down towards the 1200 metre marker now, and they go through that next quarter in 32.2. That's okay for the stand. And Dakota Rebel leads them up with Just Start aboard. Miss Aquaville sitting in behind for Darren Ray, and still at the tail was the 2-year-old trotter, Sheng Feng Sword, Aaron Garrity. 1,000 metres to go, and the tempo is slightly increased as Dakota Rebel gets a little bit more rain. They go past the winning post, and Dakota Rebel out in front. Miss Aquaville wants to go a little bit quicker, and Sheng Feng Sword's doing a good job to keep on to the back of the other two older horses. They go down past the 800 metre in 31.6. That gives us a half in 63.8. And still doing a good job out in front was Dakota Rebel. Leads by 4 metres from Miss Aquaville, and Sheng Feng Sword still in contact with the other two. They go down the back now, and they're looking to increase the paces. Dakota Rebel has now been reined along. Miss Aquaville pulls out from behind to make its run, and Sheng Feng Sword is still not that far behind them. They go past Neville Stud the final time, and the front two break away as expected. They go through the 400 in 29.8. Dakota Rebel still with a metre lead over Miss Aquaville, who's ranging up on the outside to put a bit of pressure to the leader, and they've dropped Sheng Feng Sword by 15 metres. 2-horse war as they come up towards the turn now, and they do so now as they straighten, and Dakota Rebel on the inside, Miss Aquaville the outside. Sheng Feng Sword 20 metres behind. Dakota Rebel still in front, refuses to be denied. Miss Aquaville ranging up again, but now is starting to lose petrol, and Dakota Rebel is going to come down and take it out. Wins by 4 metres over Miss Aquaville, and 25 metres back to Sheng Feng Sword, who done a good job for a 2-year-old trotter, has finished at the tail of the field. Last quarter was in 29.7. Okay, details after trial 1, the standing start. First out and first home, number 3, Dakota Rebel, Just Start. Number 2 was second, Miss Aquaville, Darren Ray, sat behind the leader. And third was the 2-year-old trotter, Sheng Feng Sword, Aaron Garrity. Overall time was 2:40.3, which gives us a mile rate of 2:07.1. The margins were 4 metres by 30, 4 by 30. And the quarters, the lead time was in 36.9. The first quarter was 32.2, second quarter 31.6, down the back in 29.8, home in 29.7.